Hi, I'm working on introduce some template for special config data processing to the Google Spreadsheet connected tool for Salesforce. In this challenge, we need to create a template configuration sheet, and which will store like object name, external field name if any, child object name, and all the object child objects fields name. Like based on these criteria, we need to build. Based on these criteria, we need to process record. So we need to create this template configuration sheet, and also in this we can configure to show the total amount of a line item. Like you want to see line total amount here, we need to create a cell which will calculate all the total amount will be processed by each process. So this will store all the total of all the amount which has been processed in a chunk, in a batch. So as you need to external input that we will show the child object field, and we need to create only the child object record in this challenge. As mentioned, we do not to update or delete the records. We have to only insert in the child object records. So these are the requirement in this. Like we need to create a template, and in the template location we configure the template location here. In the Excel sheet we can show the data where we want. So I have created this sheet, configuration sheet. In this object name is like parent object name is this, child object name is this. You can define child object fields, invoice, quantity, description. Please don't forget to include the mandatory field in this. So auto pull yes, and chunk child record by size is 2, and chunk child record on changes is not mentioned. So it will process by only the first condition, like chunk record by size. And here the mention to configuration we need to as it mentioned like Salesforce configuration line amount total. So in Salesforce configuration it will show that the data will, you need to place the data between A66 to D72. It will process only their data. And yeah, you can configure this you can configure by clicking, just simply clicking on this and click cancel. And one more thing, like if you are working on, want to show data on a template configuration sheet, then you have to give this sheet name before this configuration, like template config d64. If I want to show data like on another sheet, like if ps is the sheet, then I need to append like this ps colon d64 this. So if I will click on this, it will show this column, it will show this range. So I didn't change any existing functionality. I have added two menu. One is configuration chunk sheet, and the second is the push chunk data from sheet. Like configuration chunk sheet will check parent object name, child object name, and range, and the auto pull or every condition it will check and process and store the data in the chunk object. Like let me click on configuration chunk sheet. Okay, you see this 865 line. Now add data. Push chunk data from sheet. Creating a job. So you seeing that this value has been updated as I process the record. Now this batch, like batch total is 11, this is 9, and this is 9. So overall total is 29, which was the major requirement also. And we need to process data in the Excel sheet. So it was the requirement, like I have given the only by size. So you will see the first two record by size and second two record and last one. So based on these we are processing data. If I change the configuration, like if I write and delete this, we need to check this spelling should be same. Okay, go to this one, configure chunk sheet. Now come here and delete this. Okay, change number code. Some data config. You will see that first it was divided by 2, 2 and 1. Now first three values are same. On the field change value, like it has been changed, so it will create a new, and again the second value has again changed, so it will process like in batch first 3, second, and total overall is like 29 because both records are same. So it will show how we can process the records by chunk by field values. And let me clear this. Configure. If I mention both and again go to the configure chunk sheet, then come and read, and now paste data, and so it should process like first two record, then third record, and then fourth, like 2, 3, 4, 4. There will be 3 like that. Have to check. So yes, I said there will be total 4, like first 2 according to size, because first 3 values are same, so it will then check the size is 2, so it will process first 2 record, and then next 2 record will come, but in next 2 record the description value has been changed, so it will process first one and then second one, again its value has been changed, so next it will process one, and again its value has been changed, so it will process like in 4 chunks data. Overall total is same. So I have shown you how like all the three functionality are working according to change in Twitter template configuration. One more thing, like if you want to change this configuration to another sheet, if you want to show data on another fresh sheet, then you can change. Like if you want to show on PS sheet, then simply go to this. mm, okay, code. I have to change this sheet name. Configure sheet. So you will see the PS sheet has been activated. It's this data PS sheet, and now you can process the data as you want. The configuration will be the same as the defined in the Twitter configuration. You can change also the configuration sheet name if you want. So it will process like the same. So this is the dynamic. It's a hardcore to think like you can give the just change the sheet name and just change the value. If you want to show the data on 65, 66, then you can define. Beside this, like in for this challenge, I didn't change any existing code. I just added 4 function in Google Sheet object, like this function 2, 3, 4, and you can find simply these 4 functions by if you will this the change tag first, second, 4. So you can find this object. And also I didn't use the chunker object, like, because I have not used attached this object. I have created another object like template chunker. It will the same, but it will take different argument like my seat parent child object with chunk by value, header position, Salesforce configuration range, and total range. Header position, like here you want to set the header of a Excel sheet like this. You want to set it on a 65 line or 60, whatever you want, can define into a template configuration. Here you have defined header position is 60. It's a mandatory field. You need to define the header position, so it will be easy to find while processing the data to base to look the field name. So let me walk through the code. Like this function field from sheet will return simply the field name. Like if you have given the field name invoice, and it will append the child object with the field name. So total field in header you can set like line item underscore c dot invoice underscore c. You can also, if you want to customize the name, you can also say name like child object name line item underscore rr. So it's up to you, but just you need to change the child object name. So it will get the child parent child range, means it will get the range of the total data. Like we want to process the data, so it will return the range of range. Actually it was like first it was like child row range and parent row range, but in this challenge we need to insert only the child records. So I'm not talking about the here the parent object name, so no need to insert the parent id. So using only the child object child range. So I didn't make change to this function. Rather than making change in this function, I created another method. Okay, let me show you. This method will get the data from the chunk sheet. This is the main method. Like if you want to change the configuration sheet name, you can define the sheet name here which you want to use for configuration. And like in configuration, if you can define the range of the configuration part. Like I have defined A1 to B11. So you need to define the range. So if you want to place this data over any position in the Excel sheet, just you need to update the range over here. Once you will put the range, it will get all the values from that range, and we can retrieve then all the values from the row. So we will retrieve the row, and based on the conditions we will call like chunk by both, chunk by numerical, and this. And then if we will call a template chunk object, it will, once a constructor is called, it will store the chunk object in the database. So we can retrieve the data from the database and can do processing whatever we want to do. Like in template chunk, let me show you. Like I have defined why every field is used, what it will store. As mentioned, like my db.save, it will save this object in the database, and after that we can get id and set the properties. Like in property we can set the chunk id, and later if we want to retrieve the data in the anywhere in the application, we just get property chunk, we can retrieve all the data of the database. So create chunk sheet, I have defined like in this get range dot clear method. It will clear the range. Like when you click, if once data has been processed, you want to clear all the data, then here like position 1, like if your header is in 72 position, it will clear all the data from 73 to 173, because I have given the limit. So you can increase if you want to have more data you want to use. So everything is dynamic, just you need to pass the value, result sheet name. Okay, here I am getting the Salesforce configuration range, like whatever you will define over there. in data, like you can define this data name is protected range, this is open, whatever you will define. I am retrieving this value at this point and assigning to my range. From my range I am getting get rows data template, and this function I have defined in the Google Sheet object, it will give all the chunk data. So based on that you can process your data. Display data, it will work like when you want to display the data on an Excel sheet, on spreadsheet, it will again get all the data from range, like we have defined from 62 to 70, we have defined the object records. It will first clear 62 to 70 and then will process according to the condition, and then will create a blank rows, like in this you will see. Yeah. It will add blank rows. First it will clear and then again it will add data according to the batch chunks. See in blank row, it in the blank row last, at the last column you will see the total of that batch, and in the top of you will see the total amount total. So here I am calculating the total amount of all the batches, and this total I am adding the last column of a blank row. So if you have five column, like 5 fields, then the total of a batch will be shown in the last column every time. So this is what I have done, and it was this was the requirement. Like we need to create this child record range template line item. I have done that, like based on the total you want to show and based on the field values. And these I have shown you how it is working. Input data, chunk by size, chunk by identified field name, chunk by bow template. We have defined a template, and it should be like the master data is the same as that of the current chunk being processed. Defining a template data location, which like we can, which I have shown you. Template data location, and setting the template record, like you want to sum of all the lines. So I didn't made a change to the existing code. I have written a different new class and before function in the Google Sheet object. That's it what I have done. Okay, thanks, bye.